Hello again. Welcome to Rat Station. It's been how long?
A year, I think, or
Oh
maybe
no.
two.
And we've lost a rat.
Yeah, Lauren can't be here, unfortunately. She's too busy making money and having women. I almost said the word you're not supposed to say.
Having a life, maybe?
Well, no, cause I almost said having money and getting bitches, but we flashed into my head just saying don't call them bitches, bro. Trying to be respectful.
So we're actually doing a second episode this time. It's not a
Yeah.
one-off.
This is technically our fourth episode, but it's the second episode. Our podcast is basically Monogatari at this point, where you can choose if you want to treat them all as the same podcast, or if you want to treat this first episode of this one as the rebuild of the last one. If you've ever watched Evangelion, you know what it's like.
Oh yeah. So, what's on the topic list for today?
Well, since it has been a year or two, I can't remember. So we have a few things to talk about. The one I really want to talk about first, we got a trailer for FNAF 2.
She is such a bad bitch, though. I will fuck the shit out of that robot, man. I'm not even.
Chica is there. There are two Chicas, which is dangerous because I know a lot of people who find both versions hot. And so if those animatronics go missing, we know what happened.
Did the original costumes ever like go to a museum or get sold at an auction or whatever?
Okay, so the withered animatronics are the pre-built versions of the animatronics from the first game. A lot of people make the mistake that it's like, oh, they're the original four that they scrapped. But no, they were, once the toys went haywire, they rebuilt those and they became the four from the first game, since 2 is a prequel. But so since FNAF 2 the movie is a prequel to FNAF 1, we're either going to get, I really hope they don't go with the scrap or the withereds are what happens to the FNAF 1 animatronics when they were fighting William, because that doesn't make any sense, because that means Chica would have to physically get taller and grow a second jaw for her to look like that.
We're mixing robotics with body horror here, I see.
Well, the thing is we're also getting Mangle. So my game theory, is that we're going to get a mix of hostile withereds, and then, the classic four are going to show up and maybe make peace with the other ones. I'm not quite sure. I just feel like there's going to be, how everyone was like, oh, Avengers is going to have way too many characters. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's going to be the case for this one, where we're going to go from 4, technically 5 if you count William as an animatronic, to, 4, 8, Puppet, Mangle. That's like 10. We're going from 4 to 10.
Oh yeah, well I mean it was the same thing with the games. You started with 4 and then you jump straight into 10, having to deal with 10 different threats at once.
I guess so. I also like that they're incorporating the computer voice you hear at the end of the first movie. You saw the first movie, right?
Yes.
Okay. They're reincorporating the voice you hear at the end to Abby's little talk box thing, and I really like that.
Movie going for me is a very special thing. I don't go out much, and the last time I went out to see the FNAF 1 movie, I went in full cosplay as Purple Guy. Which I believe I posted pictures of for you. I'm not putting those on the internet.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
I don't know. Security guard seems so boring.
If you want to, put on like a painter's jumpsuit and some green gloves, you could be what's his name, Arnold from the new game.
Well, would that have anything to do with FNAF 2, though?
I mean, maybe the Mimic will show up.
I want the Mimic.
I swear to God, if I get to the end of FNAF 2, the movie, and the Avengers stinger is you see the Mimic, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Well, I feel like we're going in game order here. So next would be just all about Springtrap and Phantom animatronics.
See, but the thing is that 3 takes place 30 years in the future?
Yeah.
So either we're gonna get a movie that is way, we're gonna get grown up Abby having to deal with Springtrap again. And and they're gonna have to make Josh Hutcherson look like he's 50 years old. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna get mega autistic for a second. So the end of the first movie doesn't mirror the end of the first game. It instead mirrors the end of the first book, Silver Eyes, where the animatronics drag William back into the back room and lock him in like he's supposed to be. But instead, he's getting out in this next movie. So I don't know if FNAF 3 is going to happen like FNAF 3 the game. I think it's instead going to happen like the third movie, where we get like Eleanor or Baby or whatever they're going to call her.
Do you think we're going to get a parallel to that meme? Michael, don't leave me here. Michael.
I mean that is him being locked away.
But it's not official. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but we might see him try and get, because the costume isn't dirty enough yet. It still looks okay. Mm-hmm. So I think they're gonna set the FNAF 2 location on fire, and that's how we're gonna get like fucked up, like gross Springtrap.
Yeah, I wonder. So Afton's been through a lot of redesigns. First was Springtrap, the relatively clean-ish Springtrap, and then Burn Trap after that, and then Scrap Trap, I think it was. And
there's Scrap Trap, which makes, if you, no matter which way you slice it, does not make sense, because either the costume that he's trapped in randomly changed design, and he just lost an arm, or you go with what people have tried to sell to me as what actually happened. He discarded the old one like a hermit crab and found another one.
That's what I've been told too, where he's gone to different locations and just like done the replace a piece kind of thing.
But none of the pieces of Scrap Trap are the pieces of the original Spring. Like none of them match. Like the torso isn't this. Like the torso is skinnier. He's missing an arm. I mean, I guess if you really want to get to brass tacks, yes, he like replaced it piece by piece. But he is also, he is locked into it, and he's been locked into it for like
Which
30
kind of explains the missing arm. Like if he tried to replace a piece of his arm, but his flesh is still rotten, he just accidentally rips it off.
I guess so. But again, he's supposed to be locked into the endoskeleton around his corpse still doesn't match to the original. It would be too thick.
Yeah. But then again, Scott wasn't really paying attention to that kind of thing.
No, he really doesn't, which is what kind of pisses me off about FNAF a lot, because you can't tell what designs are intentional and what are just like, oh, I didn't give a shit about what this character looked like before. They're going to look like this now.
I think that was the entire series.
Well, that's why people can't agree on whether the Wizards... Because in the early days of the fandom, a lot of people made unwithered versions of those animatronics, but the thing is that those versions of those animatronics do not exist. They're just the first batch of the FNAF 1 animatronics,
which is like, it's all sorts of confusing, but that's what happens when you build a universe from scratch. You're going to make some mistakes.
I feel like one day we're going to get a series of FNAF games, which are the series if it was told like it was supposed to. Anyway, I will literally talk about FNAF forever.
Let's move on to the next topic.
So were you there when we were watching the Predator TV show?
The Predator TV show? No, I don't think I was there.
Okay, so there is a new-ish Predator, like it's an animated anthology. Mm-hmm. It's about Chititwa, however you say it's the Predators. It's about them coming to Earth. It's them coming to Earth at different periods of time. And one of them is a samurai one. And there is a scene where two samurai. This is slight spoilers, so sorry if you haven't seen it, but it's really not that big of a deal. Two samurai cut through a predator at the same time, and it basically like explodes. I want you to guess what stock sound effect they use for the sound of an alien creature like exploding.
Generic cartoon splat?
No. If you guessed the fart with reverb sound, you would be correct. It's not even like the original one from the sound pack it comes from. It is the one with reverb. So the way it happened is we were all watching it in VC, and I kind of let it pass by the first time, but then like 3 seconds went by. And it's like, did I hear that right? I thought somebody played it perfectly in VC first. So I was like, But like, I was like, wait a second, I didn't see it. Like, because you know when somebody plays like a soundboard, the little icon comes up, so it shows you who played it.
Yeah.
I didn't see that happen for anybody, so I was like, that didn't happen in the show, did it? And so I went back and I played it again, and I was like, we all lost our minds because there's no way that happened, right? Yeah. So I assume there was a rogue audio editor who just snuck that in there, and it just went by.
100%.
Check that show out, by the way. It's pretty alright. If you're a fan of like the Predator franchise, especially if you like Prey, the last movie that came out, it's pretty good. It's alright. The Switch 2 released.
All the twos today on our podcast. Second podcast.
I can't afford one. Next topic.
Do we want to talk about Nintendo anti-consumer?
Yeah, I guess we can. It's a bit of a, I don't want to say it's a depressing topic, but it's definitely one of those topics that, like, man, the company that makes all my favorite things, well, not all of it, but the company that makes most of my favorite things doesn't like me.
Like, I can tell you exactly what it was. I'm not sure if you watch my TikToks or not.
I do. Okay, I do when they show up.
The perfect execution of an idea only lasts as long as the person that came up with the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And Iwata, the person that was in charge when Nintendo was good, is gone. And the people in charge now, Doug and everybody else over in Japan that I don't know their names, they don't have the same goals as Iwata did when it came to giving us fun at a cheap price.
They need to do that thing. They need to go back to that practice where every Japanese office has a smack-talking American that every time there's a stupid decision, the American is allowed to be like, what are you doing? What do you mean that you're right? That okay. If I'm talking out my ass, someone's totally allowed to call me out, but I swear to God that used to be a thing in like Japanese corporate culture. Because the Japanese have a very different sensibility of business. And I'm not trying to generalize. And again, if I'm talking out my ass, I am. But because a lot of Japanese companies have only the interest of like the Japanese consumer. Only a few like Capcom or Nintendo or like what else am I thinking of? Sometimes Toho have American sensibilities in mind because a lot of those like franchises have American influences.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the time, Japanese companies only care about Japanese consumers. You can see that in stuff like Super Sentai or like Kamen Rider or any tokusatsu.
And very common in just regular anime because it's not designed for American audiences.
Right, yeah. And if the guy making it is like a big fan of like Western stuff, sometimes you'll get like American synergy, but most of the time it's like, well, this is a Japanese show about Japanese students in a Japanese school. Why would we ever need to like synergize with what America like wants or needs?
Yeah. Unless the story itself takes place outside of a Japanese culture, there's no real reason to market it to anyone else because that's not really who they're marketing it to or who their target audience is.
Yeah, no, you take stuff like Cowboy Bebop, where that is a show made by a Japanese band, but completely like for Western audience. It's for both audiences, where it has like a lot of like Western sensibilities and like it takes a lot of it takes a lot of notes from like Western movies or like stuff made in the West.
But I will also say this, the differences in culture can also be a point of interest for Western audiences because they have different points of view and different ways to look at traditional culture or traditional customs.
Right.
Like I'm blanking on specifics, but you get what I mean when I say um, anime is still huge in America, even though it's not tailored to an American audience, and then no industry has tried to or wanted to because it works.
Well, think of it like this. Every time a new episode of Dragon Ball Super came out, Mexico stopped. But yet, like, Toei Animation isn't thinking about Mexico when they make anything Dragon Ball.
Exactly. It happens to just be a lineup of cultures, I guess.
Well, I wouldn't even be like, I am not, surprisingly, I am not a expert when it comes to the financial situation of your average Japanese like household owner, and I'm also not an expert on the Japanese economy, but I would hedge a bet to say that Japan isn't thinking about how bad inflation has affected America when they were like designing the Switch 2 and how much it was going to cost.
I can see where they get the price tag. It's upgrades, upgrades, upgrades. It's a lot of hardware acceleration and oh, it's shiny, it's new. We've completely redesigned the Joy-Cons, this and that. Bigger, better hardware, bigger price. And obviously tariffs and inflation, none of that was their fault. But at the same time,
right,
$80 video games.
Right. It is the folly of multi-billion-dollar company can stand to lose. Like, would you rather sell 100 games for $30 or like 3 games for $100?
I get a better sense of satisfaction when I sell more games.
Right.
But
exactly.
That's me. Again, I don't know the Japanese business culture, so I don't know what they value.
You know, I don't want to pretend to know stuff that I don't, even though I do all the time. But we're being recorded, so I can't do that right now.
It's a lot of speculation on our part.
Yeah, but I like. Well, here, so from my perspective, I've lived my whole life. Never the first console I got the year it came out was the PS5, and that's because I bought it with my own money. Well, I split it with my sister, but that's, semantics. But I've lived a long time waiting 2 to 3 years before I didn't get the Switch 2, or sorry, I didn't get the first Switch until Splatoon 2 came out.
It's a good reason. And there is probably going to be a breaking point where I get a Switch 2, and it's probably going to be Kirby Air Ride.
Yeah, well, because I was already close because I really want to play Donkey Kong Bonanza. I really want to play that game so bad.
It looks fun, but I'm not Donkey Kong is not up high on my list as it is for others, so it got less of a pull on me.
If you put a monkey in a game, I'll probably play it. I'm not. That's just the long and short of it. Especially DK. I like Donkey Kong a lot.
I feel like Nintendo just needs to quit it when it comes to cracking down on piracy. I get it.
Yeah.
I get why they want to do it, why they feel like they need to do it. But the thing is, you're never going to win against a pirate.
Right.
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or corporations shouldn't make something. No, pirates will always get their way. And what you need to do is not fight it, but adapt around it. People were pirating music, and Spotify came in and said, okay, how about every song ever for $10 a month? And people, including the pirates, went,
good deal. Good deal.
Yeah, because what the thing is, music, when you download a ton of it, takes up a ton of space on your device. So when you just stream it from a service to your device, what you lose in private ownership, you gain freedom of storage and more portability, because back then you still had CDs and MP3 players to lug around your music with, and organizing all of that was plain doo doo back then, and kind of still is.
I should know. I had a Zune.
Same thing with pirating movies. Storage space on your external hard drive when you're downloading all of that. Or if you're a physical media collector, you need a place to store all of the physical media, like shelves or boxes. And finding all of that and trying to organize and find all of that stuff is somewhat of a hassle if you want to find something specific. And that's the niche that streaming services for movies and TV shows used to fill before they got so messy.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's at a tipping point where you have to spend a ton of money just to have access to everything that you used to have by popping in a few discs. And so that's why piracy is back on the rise again. It's a lot less of a hassle to pirate something than it is to sign up for 17 subscription services and pay like $50 a month or more than your own electric bill.
Well, there's that thing a lot of people talk about where it's like, why did I stop paying for cable if all of the stuff I want to watch is on so many streaming services? I might as well be paying for cable again.
Well, the thing is, cable streaming has on demand. Cable was always, I'm going to play these shows at these times. And while it's nice to have a schedule, not everybody can adapt to that schedule.
I guess that's true, but also, like, there is the thing where it's like, this movie I want to watch is on this service right now. But come 2 to 3 months, it'll be on a completely different service. And maybe I'm like splitting hairs, but I feel like that feels the same as like, oh shit, I didn't have time to watch this movie while I was on Hulu, and I don't have Goopy, so now I gotta pay for Goopy.
And that's the gap that piracy fills in, because you don't want to pay for Goopy, and freemovies.gif is right there.
True. Yeah, no, I just like so the thing about me when it comes to pirating games is that I have maybe pirated a game 3 times in my whole life. Not counting when I went on Nintendo8bit.com and played like all the Mega Man games for free. But so like when I had an Android in high school, I would put ROM hacks on it, and that's how I beat Pokemon Fire Red, is on an emulator on my phone. But there's something about like, I'm okay with a lot of games I like being on Steam instead of like I have Halo on my computer. I'm okay playing Halo on my computer. But for me personally, Nintendo has this real vice grip on me. I guess it may be like because of aesthetics, or also like what am I thinking of? Like just the controllers, I guess. If I was playing a Switch game on my PC, I would feel weird. You know what I mean?
I guess. But like, what about a Steam Deck?
I guess a Steam Deck. A lot of people said that you should just get a Steam Deck, and I do kind of agree.
The thing is, like, especially with indie games, like, my favorite indie game is coming to the Switch, but I have a Steam Deck, and I already have that experience, like playing my favorite indie game portably. But the only reason I would buy a Nintendo console is to play first-party Nintendo games, because those aren't on Steam. Because everything else on the Switch store is available on the Steam store.
Listen. I need a third place to play Balatro, so I got a Steam Deck.
I got a Steam Deck for Balatro. I got my phone for Balatro, and then I got my PC for Balatro.
Yeah. A Steam Deck is becoming more and more like, especially with how customizable it is.
Yes.
I have watched hours of the way people have customized when their Steam Deck turns on. It's fucking insane.
I love the ones I made.
Yeah, when I get a Steam Deck, I really want to I really want it to turn on, and it's the Family Guy establishing shot music, and it's the Griffin household, but the door has like the Steam Deck logo on it.
Holy crap! Steam Deck.
Remember the time I played Balatro?
What if you had the Family Guy, Peter opening the door, but it was always like it was several different versions of it, where it was always a random game and you shuffled them.
Oh, that would be okay. Wait, that's a great idea. Like, it's the establishing shot, and then it's Peter opening the door. It's like, holy crap, Chell from Portal, and then my Steam Deck starts.
Yes, or holy crap, Balatro, and and that could just be like a thing. Like, what am I gonna play today? Let's let Peter
Jimbo
decide.
from Balatro. See, but the thing about the thing about that is that if I ever go on a plane and forget to plug in my headphones, and forget to plug in my headphones for like when I want to turn on my Steam Deck, it's over. Never, I will never be able to explain to the 75-year-old woman sitting next to me the like levels of irony that like, well, no, you see, it's just but
Don't
like,
apologize for that. Don't explain it. Just leave them confused.
just look at them and be like, "What? You don't fuck with Peter Griffin? You don't fuck with Family Guy?"
It's for anybody that knows the meme, it's gonna be super funny if they look over your shoulder and see that.
Yeah. But still, like, it just, I am afraid of any kind of like public confrontation, even if it is inherently funny.
Holy crap! Sans Undertale.
Hello, Peter. I'll need to find somebody who can do a really good Peter Griffin impression, or I'll just do it no matter how shitty it is.
I feel like Fiverr, you can find like a Peter Griffin impersonator pretty easy.
I wonder if the real life Peter Griffin guy has a cameo.
Well, I mean, cameos are expensive though.
Oh, they really are.
And for as many variants as you want of that one joke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess you're right. It is kind of crazy how like even the like lowest of the low, like nobody celebrity, can still charge you $50 if you want a video of them saying something.
I mean, yeah, like where else are you gonna go for that specific person? And it's not like you have the moral bankruptcy to use artificial intelligence.
That's true. Anyway, I feel like we talked more about gaming corporate culture instead of the actual Switch 2. Because we kind of got bogged down in the weeds. I will probably still buy a Switch 2 at some point because a lot of the games look fun. A lot of the games that will probably come out for it, like new Smash, will probably be fun.
I won't be buying a Switch 2 until those games are not just announced but out. Because I've gone ahead and canceled my Nintendo Online subscription because I'm not using it anymore, and like that's not going back online until I see something worth playing.
I will be 100% honest with you. The moment they release or the moment they announce a new Smash, it that'll be my breaking point. I'll be like, all right.
Obviously, but Sakurai is kind of busy at the moment
with Kirby Air Ride.
Yep, and I'm excited for it, and I'm hoping that by the time Air Ride is out, there'll be some really good stuff to play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd like a new Pikmin game, or maybe another Mario, or at least some DLC for something existing.
Yeah.
I would love, you know what, it would be really great? DLC for Mario and Luigi Brothership, where it's just, hey, you want to play the other games in this art style?
That would be cool, but that would be so much effort.
I know it would be so much effort, and I'd pay for it. Like, if
I would also pay for it, yeah.
Like, if that's like something you get for like, how they were doing with like, hey, if you have Nintendo Switch Online expansion, you get all this DLC for free, and that's one of them. That will get me back on the subscription service.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, another Splatoon would be really nice. Smash, hopefully at some point. By the way, I never okay. I don't often revel in like the disappointment of others.
Oh no.
But I am very excited for when people realize that Everyone Is Here was only for Smash Ultimate and they open up Smash Brothers and like Snake isn't there again.
And it's going to be like a very weird roster where it's going to be not just Mario and Link and Kirby, but it's going to be basically the floodgates are open. It's everybody in the gaming in the gaming sphere, and Nintendo's only going to be like maybe 3/5 of the third party.
Well, think of it like this. So, how big of a roster did Smash Ultimate have? 89.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, that's going down to at least, I want to say 50. DLC included, I want to say 50 tops. Anyway, I think we've talked about Nintendo long enough.
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
Did you see Superman?
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard good things.
Okay, I won't go into spoilers, one, because I want to, I want the people listening to go see the movie unspoiled. But all I have to say is that, man, I have not felt so good watching like so the way the Robert Pattinson Batman made me feel, and I'm not talking about quality, I'm just talking about tone.
Mm-hmm.
The exact opposite is how I felt watching Superman.
Huh.
I mean, it's the same feel. It's the same feeling of like, because when you see a character like, I don't want to say Superman's been misrepresented in media, but when you see somebody get a character so right, it's like such a euphoric feeling.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what they did for Superman.
Just a guy that just wants to do good without any hassle.
Well, yeah, it's just he's a really good guy. He like saves dogs and squirrels. Like he makes sure that monsters don't like run into buildings unless that building doesn't have any people in it.
Conveniently abandoned building incorporated.
He doesn't swear for the whole movie. And like you hear other people say shit and like there are people who swear in the movie. Clark doesn't swear once in like the whole movie, and I think that's perfect. I think he, you know what? Actually, I think he does once, quoting somebody else, but that's it.
Huh.
No, it's just a really good movie. I really enjoyed it, and I'm a little late to the party. I'm sure everybody listening has already seen it, but I still don't want to get into spoilers because you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. So I'm gonna drop a hot take. I don't care about the Snyderverse.
Uh-huh.
That was my hot take. I watched what was it? What was the movie where they brought Superman back from the dead and he was pissed?
That was Justice League.
That movie sucked.
You were in the Arctic, my friends.
Also, what was that? I think they tried to do another Justice League movie with what was the guy that was supposed to be in jail as the Flash?
Oh, Ezra Miller?
Yeah, I don't know why people kept, every time around the marketing of this movie, it's like, oh, I'm so surprised the new Justice movie didn't do so well. What do you mean? You literally had a criminal as one of the starring roles.
Well, so here's the thing about that. So, the original Justice League came out. It was technically directed by Joss Whedon.
Mm-hmm.
Whedon? I don't know.
Josh Wheaties.
And it was bad. Like all those movies are. And then there was whispers of a cut that Zack Snyder made. And fanboys forever were like, "Oh, release that cut. That's the one we want." And then I forget who owns DC. Is it Warner Brothers?
I think they're partners, but I'm not sure who owns who.
Anyway, DC buckled and said, "Fine, here," and they released a 4-hour version of the movie. It's 4 hours.
Oh yeah, didn't that go viral for that weird, sensual hot dog scene?
No, I think that's the Flash.
Oh, right. I was thinking about the Flash movie itself and why people were like, why didn't that do well?
Well, but yeah, well, if Ezra Miller wasn't a criminal, I'm not gonna lie to you, the Flash would have done good. It is it's a bad movie. It's just not good.
Bad written movie with a bad actor. Very literally.
I will say, there is a single scene in Justice League that I think is pretty cool. I think it's a thing adapted from one of the comics though, so maybe it doesn't even fucking count. But there is a scene where, so it's when Superman comes back from the dead and he's pissed off for some reason.
Yeah.
And he's like beating the shit out of the Justice League. There is a moment where the Flash is, he's going so fast that everyone is so slow.
Mm-hmm.
But then he looks at Superman, and Superman starts to turn his head to look at the Flash. And then the Flash slowly realizes that Superman can see him and like how fast he's moving. It's like genuinely really cool. But if it's like from a comic, then again, it doesn't fucking count because
it feels like a comic scene.
Yeah. I'm sure that's something that's happened before because every time there's like a new universe and the Flash and Superman meet, it's always like a big deal.
Because like I've seen that trick in One Punch Man.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. But yeah. Anyway, Superman good. I'm really happy. I'm so happy he's being done well for so long because it has been a while since we've gotten a decent Superman movie.
And they treat it like Superman is hard to write, but just like let him be just a good guy. He doesn't need like you can have the tragic like, oh, my grandpa died, my home family Krypton's dead, but he just it feels like none of that stuff is what's holding him back. As far like he doesn't really need to hold back. He's just a guy that wants to do good.
There is a this isn't spoilers. It's a pretty like common thing for Superman. But there's a big point in the movie where it is brought into question: does Superman do good only because the message from his parents told him to, or does he do it because it's what he believes is right?
I mean, moral conscience, like that exists in everybody, right?
Right, but it's a thing that's brought into question, like partially from the people around Superman, because they don't know him personally. They don't know anything about him.
What's the S stand for?
On my planet, it means hope, which it doesn't. It doesn't.
Well, here it stands for shit.
It's not a thing. I mean, if you really want to get nitty gritty, the S on his chest is a class like demarcation, but in some adaptations, it's his family crest. Because you'll see Zod has a different symbol. Anyway, that's Superman lore. Anyway, go see Superman, and if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
I feel like media is kind of going into a like. All right, so hear me out on this. In the 80s, you had a bunch of toys or a bunch of TV shows and properties and such not being directed by toy companies, pre-established products like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles started out as a comic, I think, and then got turned into some toys and then had a TV show based on those toys to sell those toys. And now we're back at it again, where we have a bunch of TV shows and movies, and it's not super heavy on the toy sales anymore because both the American and British governments have cracked down really hard on marketing to children. And so they're just like, what do we do now? I guess we just make an okay movie, I guess? Because you don't see a lot of like from the new Fantastic Four movie, it's Mr. Fantastic. He can really stretch. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I kind of missed that. I kind of missed that. Actually, if I could make a shout out really quick, I have been following, and I don't want to say we're friends because I am very hesitant to ever say that a YouTuber I talk to frequently and me are friends until they're like, "Hey, you're my friend." Anyway, I follow a channel called Dumb Jake. He talks about that exact genre of toy. He just passed 69K subscribers.
Nice.
So if you don't follow him and that's your thing, definitely do that because his videos are really good.
I'll check that out. And so what I'm saying is, after the rise and fall of the toy-driven cartoon, companies were like, well, everybody's getting burnt out on all of these pre-established properties. What do we do now? And so they were like, what if we just gave the reins to the animators and see what they do? And that's where we got things like SpongeBob and, for better or worse, Ren and Stimpy, and like basically the creator-driven renaissance where the peak of Cartoon Network, Disney Channel had Kim Possible, and Lilo and Stitch I'll technically throw in there since it went into a different direction in the movies.
Yeah.
And all of the stuff on Nick, where none of it was made to push a product. It was just made to attract viewers, and those viewers were able to sell ad time.
These characters aren't toyetic anymore. What the fuck is this?
Although SpongeBob became very toyetic, like from the very beginning.
Well, but then you also come to the thing where it's like, we can take TMNT now. We can still sell toys, but we can tell an actual story with these characters now.
And I can appreciate when they do that. I haven't seen any of the She-Ra characters. Like, He-Man had a ton of toys back in the 80s. I haven't seen almost any for the She-Ra cartoon.
Like the original one?
No, the new one.
Oh, the new one, yeah. I'm pretty sure Adora's sword came out as a toy.
Yeah, but that's it. You can only name like one or two things that become a toy.
I will say there is a there is a double-edged sword when it comes to that, because yes, I am happy Steven Universe exists as a cartoon, but why the fuck did I never get my Garnet Hulk hands? God damn it!
Well, weren't they a prop at one of the photo booths? But that was it.
I don't know. It's so bad that they even reference it as a product that exists in Craig of the Creek. It fucking. Oh. I'll never not be angry.
Where's my lapis mirror? I want
exactly.
I want portable trauma.
Yeah, no, you totally could have made. No, I'm like genuinely not joking. You totally could have made a toy of Lapis's mirror. Where it's one of those like record your voice and it says it back to you thing.
you press the gem on the back and it glows and you just hear no.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like there's so many toyetic Cartoon Network could have made Cookie Cats. They didn't.
Yeah, they didn't.
There were so many opportunities to be toyetic, and I'm not sure if that's what Rebecca Sugar was hoping for, because like there was a similar thing in OKKO where they had the POW cards, and every hero had their own card with stats on it. And Ian Jones Cordy released like a template. It's like, hey, make your own POW card.
Mm-hmm.
I think they really wanted those things to take off, and for better or for worse, again, Mighty Magiswords. A lot of attempts at being toyetic, and I'm not sure what they were told when they were making this show. It's like, hey, give us something that we can turn into a toy should the option come up. Because there's a lot of that.
It wasn't toyetic, but it was app-etic, where you could collect the swords on an app. You remember that one?
Yeah, it didn't really take off.
Yeah, no, it really didn't.
The implication, or the execution of that was really wobbly.
Speaking of things being toyetic, Transformers.
Robots in disguise.
You saw Transformers 1, right?
I have.
So I continuing. I feel like we didn't think of a theme when we were doing this, but I feel like we have an accidental theme of I guess corporate corruption,
Yay!
where Transformers 1 came out. It is, and I'm not exaggerating, the best Transformers movie ever.
Mm-hmm.
And because it didn't sell like $1 billion in tickets, we're just not going to get another one.
Yeah, I hate it.
And it makes me so upset because, like, I can accept the fact that there are things that have a shelf life. If Transformers just doesn't cut it anymore, and they had to retire Transformers for a little bit, at least as a movie franchise, that would be okay. Because at least we still have Transformers 1, like, as a final note of, like, the big beginnings can be ends and ends can be beginnings, and sometimes the things you love just disappear for a little bit. I have said 1 million times that there are some franchises that they keep trying to bring back and that they should just stop. Alvin and the Chipmunks, Smurfs,
Scooby Doo.
You could still squeeze a few out of Scooby Doo still.
I don't know. I feel like they've squeezed Scooby's balls just like enough to where we're starting to dig at the bottom of the barrel here.
You can't say that. He doesn't have those.
Oh, Raggy, where are my resticles?
where do they go, Raggy?
Wasn't there some weird... I saw a TikTok of like Lego Scooby Doo. It was like, where are my resticles, Raggy? And it was 2 Lego studs in a trash can.
No. Yeah, I just like, because like with Scooby Doo, you can at least, like, you know, there will always be teenagers, and like solving mysteries and like you can say honestly, crime drama is more relevant now than it has been because of like true crime and shit. There is still stuff you can do with Scooby Doo, but the market is not aching for songs you already like, but significantly worse. And also sung by rats.
Why did they make so many Alvin and the Chipmunk movies?
Why did they make so many Alvin and the Chipmunks movies?
Why was there an Alvin and the Chipmunk show?
I don't know. I might be stepping on some toes to even say that those Meet the Wolfman and Frankenstein movies aren't even really that good. They're just fairly well animated.
Oh, do we want to talk about Fixed?
I guess if we have to. I don't really have much to say about it. I got unreasonably angry when I saw the trailer, because like you never want to like pretend you personally know anybody, that you've only experienced their work, but I thought I had a pretty good beat on like what Genndy enjoyed making, or like what his like sensibilities were. And this just hit me like a fucking like truck, where it was like, not only is this a movie he is making, it is one he wanted to make.
I mean, if you've ever seen, wasn't there one where he was doing an interview or some sort of like maybe a Kickstarter campaign, and you just saw how he acted and was like, yeah, he could do that.
I guess, but it's just like, I don't know. I like, because like everything I've ever experienced from Genndy is like action centric, like cartoony comedy. Like there's a reason one of his passion projects was a fucking Popeye movie. Cause like that's right up his alley. It's like cartoony violence and action. And that's like his thing. Or even like Hotel Transylvania, where like That's not necessarily his baby, especially the other ones.
Mhm.
But you can still feel his like Hanna-Barbera loving influence through those movies. But this I just like I mean, if it's what he wants to do, I'm not trying to take that away from him. I just want to know why.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta like go nuts. I feel like I've done something similar where I've drawn or said something super out of pocket that none of you were expecting, and you were like, "Whoa, Drake! I didn't know you could say that."
That's true, but there's a difference when it's like an off-color joke you tell during a conversation and like a whole animated production. This is like if you found out Sausage Party was directed by Hans Zimmer. This is like if you like
Could you imagine though?
Well, no, it's exactly the same. But imagine you watch Sausage Party and you're displeased with like the existence of it, and you're like, who the fuck made this bullshit? And you go to like the DVD commentary or whatever, and you just like, when I was developing the character of this sausage, I had to really look into myself and the darkness within me. And you're like, what? What do you mean?
So
You made that documentary about that guy getting eaten by a bear. What are you doing here?
Oh, I could totally see that. Because Hollywood people like love to so animators in general just love to mess with people, and I could totally see somebody taking on a whole project being like, I kind of want to mess with everybody, and I mean everybody.
If this is like a multi-million-dollar shitpost, whatever, good on you. If this is Gendy wanting to zig when people think he was going to zag, whatever, it's fine. He's earned enough goodwill to where like if this is the only like on his career and it's just like not that good of a movie, whatever. I don't care. It's I'm not gonna create like 70 rage bait videos about it where I think us as a society have moved past getting down like bogged down by like any not great like animation thing that comes out.
Yeah, as so long as like it's not a Sausage Party production fiasco where animators were mistreated.
Well, yeah.
If people had fun making this movie, and when people watched that movie, they were like, "That's a pretty all right movie that I have nothing to complain about." Because apparently, I looked on Blue Sky because I don't use Twitter anymore. I looked on Blue Sky and I saw people like, I watched Fixed. It didn't blow me away, but it was really fun.
Yeah, no. If I watch the movie, if I like end up watching it and I have a laugh, then like, yeah, I whatever. I guess that's fine. So like, I'm not in like I don't follow the cartoon community anymore. So I don't know if they still like get mad at every like half baked animation production or whatever. But
what I can tell, sorry, you go ahead.
So, but like my like touchstone of it was like that Sneaker movie came out, and I didn't hear anything. It came out. I didn't hear anything about it. I didn't see any videos come out about it, and the world kept turning.
Yep, there's a difference between making a project that is like that might have been a deciding factor for Gendy too. Like, I'm going to make something so off kilter, people have to snap their necks back and do a double take.
True, yeah.
Because like Sneakers, like I'm sure there's some crossover between animation nerds and sneakerheads. That's not me, and it's not the majority of people I know. I'm not sure who this movie... Well, I know exactly who this movie was for, is for sneakerheads, but I'm not sure how many sneakerheads are also into animation.
See, you're wrong. All the sneakerheads are in the Sonic community. They're waiting in line for the Sonic Tims to come out. By the way, fun fact, so the Sonic Tims have blue laces.
Yeah.
And I know that, blue for Sonic, it's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But in the shoelace code, in the punk shoelace code, having blue shoelaces means you have killed a cop before.
Oh my. Well, I think Sonic's done that.
I mean,
Shadow
you can
definitely
make him,
has.
You can make him kill gun soldiers if you control him in Sonic or in Shadow the Hedgehog.
So it's lore accurate.
Yeah, it is lore accurate. I don't think it. I think it also just means you might be anti-cop, but yeah, I choose to believe it means the former. It has been 2 years since our last episode, and Spider-Verse 3 still isn't out, or even is threatening to come out anytime soon.
Yay! What was it? What is Sony's contract? They have to make at least one Spider-Man movie every 4 years.
I think that expired.
I don't. Is the new Spider-Man movie under Sony?
Yeah, it is. It's Sony Animation.
No. I mean,
Brand New Day.
Yeah, Brand New Day. Is that Sony or is that Marvel?
No, that's still Marvel. It's still like the MCU.
Because I wasn't sure what the contracts were, because I feel like Sony would fight tooth and nail to keep that going, and Spider-Verse was the thing to hold that contract together, because it was successful, and then Part 2 came out, and that was successful, and then contract disputes between, was it Lord and Miller?
Yeah.
And without them, like, I believe we know what happened the last time they tried to do a Lord and Miller film without Lord and Miller, and that was every subsequent Lego movie after, the Lego Batman?
Yeah. What was I gonna say? No, there's not much more to say about it, except, so, I am of two worlds. One part of me is like, this movie can take as long as it wants. I don't want any animators to be abused or like mistreated, and I want them to have all the time in the world. But another part of me is like, okay, but it shouldn't take this long.
Well, I think that's the thing. I don't think they're working on it at all. I feel like production is at a complete standstill until contracts are resolved, Lord and Miller get the money they want, and everybody gets ample time to work on it, because I think that they're trying to avoid crunch, and because after the production of the last two films, it's like, we're not going through that nightmare again. You're going to give us all the time we need. And Sony went, haha, no, lol.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to be of the voice where it's like, oh, K-pop Demon Hunters came out. That's a Sony picture. That animation took away from Spider-Man, because that's a ridiculous thing to think.
Like, animators, they have work schedules, and as shitty as corporations can be, they know that if their workforce doesn't get ample time to sleep and eat and be mentally healthy, they're going to have walk-offs and people just going nuts in the office, and they can't have that.
Yeah, no, that's
which is sad that they have to think about those extremes, but it's a problem in the animation industry. It's a problem in the video game industry. People really need to figure out how to treat their employees correctly. I feel like this isn't a hard thing to like solve.
Yeah, no, it's because I'm not trying to make any excuses, but it's when you're responsible for the livelihoods of so many people, individually, I can see how maybe you can get like lost in the weeds, but also I feel like for a lot of corporate minds, it is very easy to stop seeing people as your workers as people, and more of just like, well, that's the thing that makes the animation machine go. So if the animation machine ain't going, I ain't making money.
And then they forget that the animation machine isn't a machine. that's a building full of people.
Right. They forget that sometimes somebody in the animation machine has a baby and can't make it go anymore, and a different person has to step in.
And then you got to retrain that person, and that person needs to
Yeah.
catch up on all the other production. That way, they're not going in a different direction. And then there's the other side of it where you have shareholders and executives, and like they went to school for a business degree. They don't need to stick their fingers where they don't have expertise. I'm not saying they're incapable of being creative. Everybody's capable of being creative. But if you want to be a part of the creative process, you have to be there from day one. That's my compromise. If you want to be an executive producer, if you want to be a shareholder that says, I have an idea and implement it, you have to be there and be in our mindset. This has to make sense with what we're doing. We can't just pivot everything to make you happy. That's how crappy business decisions are made.
Yeah. As somebody who worked for Amazon, I know what it's like to feel like not a person and just a number. It sucks.
Yeah, I'm feeling like that right now, actually.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like you're actively in like production
right now.
Yeah.
Is it all right for me to shit talk my boss?
I mean, if you want it recorded on audio for the people, you could always cut it out.
I could. I'll just say, fuck you, Byron Allen. Anyway.
Can you... Sorry. Can I send you a voice clip later? Where, like, you obviously probably shouldn't put his name in the podcast, but can I send you a voice clip of me later of just going, like, Dr. Eggman, and you just put that over?
Sure.
I feel like we accidentally created, like, a bit of a downer episode, because we keep getting bogged down in talking corporate business practices. But unfortunately, when you talk about media, that is... It kind of sucks that to enjoy stuff now, you kind of have to be savvy in how corporations work.
Yeah, not just corporations, just media in general, like AI stuff. Have you gotten a lot of AI slop in your like TikTok feed recently?
Dude, it's getting really bad. I was at the gas station yesterday, and there was a picture of a dog that was AI.
I went to the mall to get Chinese food, and the mall was hosting an event. Oh, let's fill up backpacks for the kids. Every single image of the backpack mascots was AI.
So I'm starting to become like... Part of me is starting to become like, okay, if this like broke business wanted to create a banner and they just couldn't be fucked to make one, and they had to like make a little banner with AI, is that gonna blow up the fucking world?
It's not, but also Fiverr exists.
That is true. It's such like, because like I hate AI. I don't support it in any way, shape, or form.
I'm an artist. You already know my stance.
Right? Yeah. I mean, we both are in different ways.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think I'm going to explode if I go to a Mexican restaurant and the little racist sombrero man they have on their thing is AI, but also it's probably better that you shouldn't create an endeavor that costs money if you are going to cut corners like that.
Yeah, it sucks because you can see, like, if you squint your eyes, you can see the gap that this tech is trying to fill. It's so outside of generative images and like generative stuff in general, I've seen tools using the tech for example, talking about things like podcasts, there was a script that said, okay, see this whole podcast audio? I want you to cut up all the places where there's silence or where people aren't talking about these topics, and they list the topics, and it smart cuts the whole thing.
Listeners, I have to be honest. It's only been me this whole time. Drake is an AI generated figment of your imagination.
Don't you dare even imply that.
I made him up.
No. This isn't Foster's home.
Just gaslight everyone. It's like, you know what? That would be a really interesting concept for something where it's you make a podcast where one guy is real, guy isn't, and you have the listeners guess which guy isn't the real guy.
All right, listening audience, it's now the end of the podcast where you have to decide, was I the real person or was I an artificial intelligence?
It's time to kill that clanker.
Did you see the thing I sent in TikTok group chat?
Which one?
It was a TikTok, or it was a slideshow on TikTok. It's like, you wouldn't call these guys clankers, and it was Goddard or that robot from what was it called? Yo Gabba Gabba or whatever. And then first comment was, those aren't clank. There's a difference between clankers and people of metal.
Right. There's a conversation to be had where it's like, when you make up a slur for something that isn't like an actual marginalized group, but it takes cues from stuff that is, it is a dangerous game you play. But god damn it if it isn't fucking fun.
It is so funny, so especially if it's used in the correct context. You can put so much emphasis behind a certain syllable, and people like turn their heads and they go, "Wait, what did you say?"
Well, because that post you just talked about is so dangerously close to, oh no, those guys are fine. They're one of the good ones. And it's just like, that's just like shit actual like bad people say, but it's in the context of fucking oh god,
robots.
Oh god. Well, no, I was trying to think of a really hyper specific example, because I feel like it's so funny. We actually experienced this very recently when we were watching the new season of King of the Hill, where one of the episodes is Hank taking Good Hank to one of those like Andrew Tate like men's rights like camps. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And they unironically use the virgin meme. Like on screen, like it's not edited. It is the original art. It's just in the episode.
Oh, did they license it's just like that?
I don't know, but it's so funny that like the shelf life for memes has definitely shrunk to where memes do not last as long as they used to. But in TV, it's so funny how they just like sometimes there is still stuff coming out where I will see a character dab because they think it's like a thing kids still do.
Well, the thing is, like, especially in animation, it takes so long. A Pixar movie can take 2 years to make, and that's like the top quality. It's shrunk in recent years, but by the time they're done, a meme that was funny 2 years ago has almost seen with a bit of like, it's teetering on nostalgia and cringe.
Yeah. Well, this harkens the fact where I can't wait for the next Mutant Mayhem movie to come out, and Raphael has to apologize for calling. Hello?
That was great, Ash. I'm gonna need you to repeat that.
God damn it! I didn't need a new microphone.
I'm not sure if it's your microphone or your internet.
It's definitely my microphone. It's an old blue snowball that I've dropped multiple times. Oh right, yeah. I was saying I can't wait for Mutant Mayhem 2, where Raphael has to apologize for calling Drake his ghost.
That was great, Ash.
I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I'm going to kill myself. I was trying to make a haha because in Mutant Mayhem they're talking about rappers, and Raphael says Drake is his favorite rapper. And I was trying to make a joke because Drake is bad now, but my microphone wasn't gonna let me. So whatever. The joke is ruined.
Do we want to call this the end of the podcast?
I was gonna mention how Concord lived and died in the span of us between the 2 episodes.
Wasn't it up for like a week?
Yes, it was like a week.
Several $1 million of development, only to launch for a week and then die.
Yeah, the only other thing I really wanted to talk about is I got really into tokusatsu. I'm currently watching the newest Kamen Rider. It is very good, and if you have flirted with the idea of getting into Kamen Rider or tokusatsu as a whole, watch Gav. It is an amazing starting point.
All right. So I guess this is the end of the podcast, isn't it?
Yes. Do you want to do like shout outs to people or something?
I guess. Shout outs to Ash, you go quick.
Oh, I just wanted to plug my sister streams with her friend. Her name is Lulu. I will put the stream in the bottom. They're playing 100 Line right now. It's very good. You should watch.
All right. I've been Drake Star. That's been at eBread Ash. We'll see you next time on Rat Station.
Watch my channel. I'll make a video eventually.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.